The Dershow.
The Secret Service should be abolished. There should be established instead the National Protective Agency. No, not national. The Protective Agency to protect Americans who need protection. And it should merge together what today is the diplomatic protection services, foreign protection services, and domestic protection services. And they should be coordinated with the FBI and the CIA. After all, these are international threats. We know Iran is threatening to kill President Trump, candidate Trump. We don't know whether they had any involvement in any ongoing plots, but this needs to have coordination between the CIA, which is involved in foreign intelligence, the FBI, which is involved in domestic intelligence, National Security Council, and what would be a new agency, the Protective Agency, which would combine all the protective agencies that we have now, diplomatic protection agencies, the agencies that are today 100 yards from me outside my window, protecting UN personnel. Heads of state are protected by the Secret Service. Other people are protected by diplomat. That shouldn't happen. There should be one coordinated agency that can coordinate with intelligence gathering. And so nothing falls between the cracks. And there should be laws governing the relationship between federal agencies, this new federal protective agency, and local police. And obviously, the federal agency should have control when they come into a town. Secret Service says, well, we can't tell the police what to do. They have their own rules. No, there should be a federal statute. It's called preemption. When the federal government preempts an entire area, and protecting federal officials is a perfect area for federal preemption, takes over and has control and over the states. And the state has to do what the federal government wants it to do. And having said that, by the way, just take a little detour from that. States do have a role after the attempt has occurred or after the planning has occurred. The state of Florida should be investigating this. And I now hear that Attorney General Garland has said he'd cooperate with the state investigation. Why? It's our system of checks and balances. It's a way of assuring us that the federal government won't cover up. They have somebody watching over their shoulder. State prosecutors. States won't cover up. They have somebody watching over their shoulder. Federal investigators. You know, the framers of our Constitution were brilliant. They were not looking for efficiency in government alone. They were looking for efficiency. You have a unicameral legislature. You don't have two houses. And you have it only elected by proportion to the population, not like the Senate is elected today. Originally, the Senate was appointed, not elected. What you have are checks and balances. You have inefficiency to protect against tyranny or to protect against corruption. And that's what we need for the protective agencies as well. We need to have states involved, cities involved, police departments involved, municipal departments involved, but all under the control of one agency, which has paramount responsibility for the protecting of the president, the vice president, presidential candidates. I like the fact that presidential candidates will now be getting the same protection as the president. And that's right. That should be the way it occurs. Now, obviously, it's different. The president lives in the White House, and the White House is the most protected place in the world, probably. But when you go outside the White House, the protection should not differ. And the presidential candidate should have protections in his home, whether it's Mar-a-Lago or some apartment somewhere, depending who the presidential candidate is or the vice presidential candidate is. So I think we need to have a complete reshaping of our technology and our bureaucracy and our government agencies whose job it is to protect the president and presidential candidates. We cannot afford a repeat of what happened twice in the last several weeks.